All right, everybody. So I've been watching a couple more videos on YouTube about the Delphi case. To some of us, this ain't new info. Uh, you know, there's a breaking news. Could they have been tracked now? The police are looking for. This is not new news to us because most of us, in the beginning of the Delphi case years ago, uh, suspected something like that. Maybe they were lured there by somebody. Maybe was it a possibility? No, sure, it's a possibility. Is it a shocking breaking news? No. Some of us pretty much already thought of that years ago. You have to remember the Delphi case is a 5 year old case, well longer than 5 years. Or no, it'll be coming up 5 years in February, I think. So, it's not new. There's been people thinking that. I'm glad the police are checking into it. But, I'm sure they don't know. They just want the person that's created the case. Well, not the case, the account. So it's nothing new. It's no information that's new. That's making me go, told you. No, we're not. And a lot of people don't trust the police department because the simple fact is they waited way too long to release any information, and that made the police department look uh, incompetent and suspicious. So, we don't even know if we believe the police department, the sheriff's department. And I don't blame people for not, you know. But yeah, it's nothing new. Delphi murder update, ISP, police, whatever, Yeah, well, that's years ago. They already came up with that suspicion. Poor Sean Harmon's still saying it's his dad and his son. I don't think it is. They would have came out and said that by now. It was. I don't know. I don't have the DNA. I don't have all the evidence. Only the police does. You know, FBI. They're the only ones that do. So could it have been the killer? It could have been if it was a fake account. You know, I don't take anything off of the table in a murder case because anything is possible. You know, anything is possible. It's like with the Summer Wells case. I looked at the photos of Summer Wells in the back of that pickup truck when she was sitting in the back seat. Uh, and that was a pickup truck. That wasn't the brand new vehicle that they had. That was in somebody's truck in the back of it. And to me, she looked deceased already. I mean, my condolences to the family, but my true opinion is I blew the photo up and I ran it through my Logic Tech, and it's got different settings in there of colors, of a spectrum of colors and hues. And I put it through certain colors and shades. And yeah, it looks like she had a busted lip, a scrape on her lip. And you really can't see it until you blow the picture up real big or zoom in on the photo. Then you could see it. Yeah, I did see what looked to be a bruise uh, on the side of her head. And she looked pitch white. When photos before then, she was tan from being outside. Her hair was real blonde. But yet, in that photo in the back of the truck, her hair looks dark on top. Now, that tells me that the life force might have been out of her already. And that's what happens when you pass away. The first thing that starts going is your hair, the color in your hair. You lose your life, your force, your energy, your blood ain't circulating through your body. So what happens is you think your fingernails start turning color, your skin starts turning color, and she looked pitch white. So that told me that there might not have been no blood flow there for a while, not for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, probably longer than that. And the color of her hair looked to me like it started changing color, meaning it was blonde. But, it's like I watched the thing on Elvis Presley when he passed away, and the guy that did his makeup before they put him in the casket. And they got to Elvis Presley pretty fast, really. And he got to the hospital and he was declared dead or whatever, and they did an autopsy on him like right away. And the guy that came in to do his like the next day after the autopsy or something like that, uh, the guy that did his makeup and his hair before they put him in the casket said his life force was gone, and even the color of his hair changed color, changed to gray, you know, and all the dye out of his hair and the life form and everything left. So it could have been similar in Summer Wells' case. My opinion, she looked deceased. She looked pitch white, her whole body, her hands. I seen blood in a couple spots, but you know, I take it and I put it through my Logitech. Then I put it on my big screen, and that blows up the photo. You can zoom in on the photo. That's what I seen in the photo. She does look like she had blood on her in certain spots, and she looked like she was passed away already. And people were saying, well, her hand moved. Well, you know what? That could be pretty easily done if she was driving down the road. Because I remember seeing that video of Candace talking to supposedly Grandma Candace and asking her, is her hand still up? Is she still moving? And the grandmother said, no, her hand's not up. But her hand moved. Well, they were driving in a vehicle. I mean, if they would have hit a bumpy road or a bump in the road, it would have jarred her. So her hand would have moved a little bit. That's easy. When people were saying, well, she must have been alive because her hand moved in that video. No, not that she was dead. She's got no force to move anything. But if she was in a vehicle and they were driving and maybe she turned a corner or turned or went over a bump or something like that and her hand moved or whatever, not by her own will, you know, that could be, well, see her hand move, so she must be alive. You got to watch this stuff because these people are pretty tricky and they will do crazy stuff. especially in a murder case or a child abuse case or anything like that. So, you know, yeah, that's just my opinion on it. Now that I watched a video today on someone's crime investigator channel, and they were talking about the girls maybe being lured there, stalked there, or whatever. That's nothing new. And as far as them saying, well, these people are predators. They say people are beautiful, and these girls, and well, I don't believe that. You can't pick out a predator just because they say a woman is beautiful or something. You can pick out a predator by, uh, if they're talking to young kids on dating sites or whatever, then they might be. You I don't know. I'll tell you, with all this stuff, pretty soon you won't be able to tell a woman she's beautiful. But today, the society we live in, these women today, they like to get beat up, I guess, when they have sex. And I guess they like to be called bad names. I guess I grew up in a different time, a different age or whatever. Today, the world is just nuts, paranoid. I think the whole world is on meth. You can't even, these people are so paranoid. Even the police are paranoid. Who knows? But it ain't no news. It ain't nothing new to some of us. Some of us are like, we already suspected something like that is possible. Uh, but people were saying, other YouTubers were saying we were nuts. No, that's not what happened. This is what happened. We know it. We got this and that. And they make up videos and they expect people to believe their videos, or they might be reporting on it, or they might have affiliations with police or whatever, and they want people to know that, hey, this is what happened. This is the way it is. Well, I got my own mind, and everybody is a suspect. Pretty soon, all of Indiana is going to be a suspect. Every single person that is a resident in Indiana will be a suspect in the Delphi case. Yeah, everybody's a suspect now. You can't believe anything you hear on YouTube. Psychological games. We deal with a lot of that terrorism and serial killers and just nut jobs. And you know what gets me is we start playing these games with these people that are playing games with viewers, just regular viewers. And then they get mad when we get better at it than them. Then they're like, you can't do that. Well, why? You're doing it. You people have no proof of nothing until the case comes out. That's like I was telling a lot of these people. How do these people know that? It's supposed to be a hush hush case. From what everyone was told in Indiana, that it was a hush hush case because it was an ongoing case. But yet every day there was new videos. The girls were staged in sexual positions, chopped up, and their fingers were chopped up, and they were all these videos came out. And I was like, how are these people getting this information when the police released nothing? And then there was videos of police officers, sheriffs saying, "Oh yeah, well that's true. This did happen or whatever." Well, you can't say that. It's supposed to be a hush hush case. You should have came out. They should have came out with all the information they had at once. Instead of saying it's an ongoing case, they should have said it is an ongoing case, but this is the evidence we have. And we're dealing with a sicko. Another, it could possibly be a copycat killer. It could possibly be a Zodiac nut job that gets off on that. I wanted to question Brian Laundrie if they found him and his family on the Delphi case. Supposedly, he they bought that vehicle from somewhere. How long were they together? And I said this 6 months to a year ago in the videos that they made me take down. They actually came here and made me take them down and on the Delphi because that's exactly what I said to people. I even chatted with police off of the cuff and chatted in his channel and said, I want to question Brian Laundrie if they find him. Indiana gets him first for the Delphi case. Because there was a video out at that time that said there was a young couple arguing before the girls were killed at the Delphi Bridge and that there was a white van spotted out there. Now, I don't know if that's true. That could be rumors. I don't know. I'm not looking at the exact police reports and the witnesses that they had out there. It was a video I seen that someone made that said there was people saying uh, that there was reports of a white van out there and a young couple arguing at the time right before the murders. So right away I said, well, we want to question Chadwell because his MO matched the other MOs. And if you don't, if the people haven't noticed, the Moab girls, uh, Gabby Petito, and numerous girls have died the same way that some of the videos that I've watched on YouTube that said that Abby and Libby died the same way, that they were partially naked, breasts showing in similar ways. The MOs matched. So, and people said I was crazy. I'm like, no, I'm not crazy. We want to question them if they find them first. Indiana wants to question them. You have to remember it happened in 2017. You know, he was probably 18, 19. You got to keep an open mind on this stuff. I know it blows a lot of people's minds when they're like, why would you want to question it? Because the MOs match. The Moab girls were found partially naked. There was other girls found out there uh, in Utah where uh, where the Moab girls were found and Gabby Petito that were killed. And from what I'm hearing, were staged the same way. So what could it be? Well, we don't know. It could be a big ring of these guys. The same guys. You know, we did a thing back in the day, an investigation of these people that the business owners were calling the authorities saying something's going on in my business. Well, what do you mean? Well, you know, something's going on. Dramatic stuff is happening. Then we get this one guy that says he can fix it, and he always fixes it and figures it out and everything. So what they did was they sent people in, and sure enough, boom, an incident happened at the business that was tragic. You know, they were going to lose a lot of money, all this stuff. And then boom, this one guy pops up. Oh, I think I can fix this. We can find out what's going on. And the only way the guy could fix it is if he knew exactly what was wrong. And he knew exactly what was wrong. And that's how the police figured out that the guy was the one that was committing the tragedies, the mishaps, the mayhems within the business. And then coming out to be the superhero saying, I could fix this and this and that, and look like the hero. And that's pretty much, you know, how they work. You know, I mean, it's a proven fact So we got to watch this stuff. We don't know. We have no idea. All I know is now it's all breaking news. They're looking for a fake account. Well, we came up with that months ago. 6 months, a year ago, we came up with that. There was people chatting that I was chatting with that we kept saying it is possible they were lured there, meaning a fake account. They were hacked. Somebody's account was hacked. They stole the guy's photo and they made a fake account, put him all over dating sites and everything. It happened to me. So, yeah, it was possible. We were already, it's no breaking news. It's no new news to me. You want to release something new, release the crime scene photos, release the photos of the way you found these girls. Is there any connection between the Moab and Gabby Petito? Any similar? Are we dealing with a copycat killer? Were the girls carved up in carvings in their bodies and stuff? We need to prove that these people were lying that made these videos up. This is what happened. They were there and they seen it. They were the ones that found the body and they were dismembered and they were, we want proof. We want to see and we want to listen to the rest of the video. I know it's going to be gory, but to me, the police left key information in the press release. There was more than one person on the recordings other than Gabby or Abby and Libby. And the girls did not die the way these people said. We need proof of that because then we could be dealing with a group of people that actually did the murders and yet thought they were that smart to try and create and lead people away of what really happened. And that's what we got to really be watching for. And that's the truth. And some of these people are nuts. They've made videos and they've contacted me on my private Facebook messaging. Messaged me and everything. You better take these videos down. You better. I got one joker out there. I'm not worried about it or afraid. Making videos, he's gonna kill me. When he's done with me, there'll be nothing left. Yeah, I'm not worried about it, but they must be acting this way for a reason, and they must have been questioned on this case for a reason. And Anthony Greeno, the big talk, everything, his phone was taken. Well, his phone, they didn't take his phone because he didn't do anything. They took his phone for a reason. Whether supposedly he talked to the killer or maybe possibly Anthony Greeno ain't telling the truth. We don't know. They only question people in cases like that where girls are killed or sexually abused in people that have committed crimes like that or violent crimes or assaults or whatever in the past. So, everyone's saying, well, they must have questioned about this. Well, they would only question people that have a past or a sketchy past that fits the MO or similar in ways to that case, and that's the bottom line. They people are reaching for anything. They're so paranoid. I'm like, if these people are innocent, then they must be whacked out on something or under some kind of a brain control or something. I have no idea. But I can tell you this much. What we're dealing with is some pretty evil people. This is a case where actually the police are being investigated, where there's an actual sheriff, where people have called in and said, that's the sheriff. walking on the bridge. You know, this is a crazy case. If you ask me, I've been watching this case for many years, the Delphi case. I've been watching a lot of these videos and watching some of these people, and I'd be like, how do how do these people know that? And then you watch all the police coverage on the case, and you're like, there ain't no info on that. How are these people coming up with this all this info when it's a hush hush case? Even when the family was told, don't talk about the case at all to anybody. And yet there's videos out there that I've watched with my own eyes of these people saying that people that were related to the family that were there that found the girls in the woods said they were beheaded and chopped up and carved up and penetrated with sticks, and one of the girls were pregnant and there was dolls scattered all around the bodies. I mean, they really turned this horrible thing into a movie. Really, that's what they really did. This horrible, sick thing. People flocking out to the bridge where these two girls were killed. You know, come see the bridge. No, I don't want to go where two little girls spent their last breath in terror. I don't know what these people get out of it. I don't understand it. And that's where it goes back to us. We might be dealing with a bunch of zodiacs, a big group of them, a cult, a bunch of nut jobs, you know, a regular Charlie Manson leftover cult. Now I know Charlie Manson's dead, but his followers ain't. I mean, what are we really dealing with? You know, what are we really dealing with? So, if you ask me, am I pleased with the Indiana Sheriff's Department saying that they're looking for an account that was on Snapchat on Abby or Libby's phone of somebody that was a fake account? No, it's not new because we already suspected that years ago on some of these crime channels where we said, is it possible they were lured there? Some people said, yes, it was very possible. It was very possible they lured the girls there. Is it possible that it could have been a revenge killing or a person that was an altercation or something? Yeah, it's possible. Is it possible that the police and the informants that they had working for them at the time in a drug bust or steam that was going on out there was actually lying to them and sending them on a wild goose chase? Yeah, it's possible. Anything is possible in a murder case. Is it possible that one of the girls was pregnant or at least being abused or maybe even having sexual relationships with a man but not pregnant? Well, sure, anything is possible. I've seen videos where people have said Anthony Greeno is friends with Mike Patty and they belong to some biker club or something. Who knows? I don't know. I don't hang out with them. I don't know the people, so I can't say. Is it possible that maybe it was some of the videos that there was an altercation with another biker and it was a revenge killing or something like that. It's possible, and it was all staged to look like something else. Anything is possible, folks. When it comes to drugs, money, sex, the whole case seems sour to me from day one. Here's the simple thing: if the girls were that scared, why didn't they just tell the guy that was walking up, "Hey, I'm on the phone right now with my mother, and she's going to call the police," as they were filming the guy? You're on camera right now. I'm live on Snapchat. And if you do anything to us, they're going to have your photo, and the police are already on their way. Why didn't they do anything like that? Why didn't one of them take off running? If they were so, you know, I don't believe it that a 13 and 14-year-old girl was either held captive by a knife or a gun and didn't scream right off the bat instantly. It's instinct for a young 13 or 14-year-old girl to start screaming when they're scared like that. And for no one to hear anything, I'm not buying the story. It just ain't adding up. It ain't adding up. The whole story ain't adding up. The whole thing ain't adding up. One of the girls lived a mile away, a mile and a half away from there. I've seen videos that people said there was no way to go. There was no way out of there after you cross the bridge. There's no way to get out. Yeah, there is. If you stay on that path, it leads right out to the road. God, people are so gullible. They really are. It's like a giant brainwashing. MK Ultra. This is what. Well, they're looking for some guy that was on Snapchat with a fake account. Well, if that ain't him then, because that ain't the real photo of the guy that did it. It could be some sicko making fake accounts, luring girls. We knew this 2 years ago. It's no new information to me. You want to give me something that wows me, give me the rest of the full recording of the voices. Release the video, the whole thing. I know it might be gory. I know there's people saying, why would you want to hear it? Because we need proof that it is happening exactly as the way these people have said it, and the police are saying it. Because if it ain't, if the video don't add up and the voices don't add up with what the police are saying, then something ain't right. If the photos ain't adding up, the crime scene photos of what everybody is saying, the girls were lured across the river, show me wet clothes, show me wrinkly skin from being waterlogged and left out there in February between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock at night. 5 o'clock at night, the sun goes down. It was 45, but there was a wind, so it was real chilly. Everyone, it was 50 degrees. Yeah, 50 degrees with a wind in February is 30, depending on the wind speed and the time of day. So these people are really upsetting a lot of people. This is no new news to me. They're looking for a fake account. We knew that 2 years ago. We already knew that they were looking for it. Wasn't possible. We already had that in the scenario that it's possible they were lured there. For one, release the original video from the police. You want to wow me, Indiana State Police? Release the original video, because we don't know if they released a video to somebody and that somebody took that video and then edited it and then played it on social media. We want the original recording. The information that the police, the sheriff's department, and the police press release. Why would that sheriff get up there and say, you might already be in this room with us? or we might have already interviewed you or talked to you. That was a key clue because there's only certain people allowed in police press releases. They just don't let everybody in there. So that means it either had to be an investigator, a reporter, or a police officer. I mean, them are the options. Why would they be in that room with them? Why would the sheriff come out and say, we might have already interviewed you? You might be in this room with us right now. It don't make sense to me. That was a clue that there's only certain people allowed in a police department's press release. It's not like anybody can go in there and be in front of the press release. You got to have credentials to be in there. So that was a key clue. And then the other clue was it was more than one person that did the killing. Why? Because one of the reporters in the police press release asked the police, when the police said there was numerous voices on the recording, and the reporter said, you mean Abby and Libby's and the killers? And the police said no. Other than Abby and Libby's, there was numerous voices on the recording. So that told me there was more than one person on the recording. Now, whether they knew about it or maybe they were close enough and actually walking on the trail and the phone picked up their voices, or it was actually what the clue that the police were giving was there was more than one person there, meaning there was numerous people there. And I'm thinking it's got to be probably, I think we got one of them or two of them in prison as we speak, my opinion. I'm not a professional voice guy, but I did listen to Chad Wolf's voice numerous times on all the videos he put out. And then I compared it to the voice uh, on the Delphi case. Um, and to me, it's a match. Even the way he phrases things and talks and pauses is, the other voice I'm hearing on that recording might be someone else's. And there's only one other person or two other people I can think of. And then another key clue is the police saying people are going to be shocked when they find out that you are the cause of this. And it's starting to add up. I think I got my boys. I think I figured out the case. That was a key clue that the sheriff's department left. Okay, they left certain clues in that case. There was no reason for that sheriff to come out and say you might be in this room with us right now, or we might have already interviewed you. Boom, right away I was thinking, well, it's got to be either a reporter or an investigator or a police officer, because they're the only ones that are allowed in a sheriff's department press release. And the camera, the news people. That was a key thing. Same thing with the voice thing. What are we dealing? I don't know. We could be dealing with a bunch of idiots. They could have killed, did the killings, turned around and made it look like it was someone else, knew that they were the ones, but then tried to pin it on someone or frame. I've seen cases like that where they try and do stuff like that. Now, the world is a movie, and I wish people would start believing that the world is, crimes are just like movies. They really are. They really are. I try telling people, they're programmed. They made it cool. These people actually think it's cool. Zodiac killer is cool and all that. People don't realize that Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a real life thing. That really happened in Texas. You know, the Zodiac. Everyone thinks it's a movie. Oh, it didn't really happen. No, it really happened. And the Zodiac killer played games and was never caught. They never caught the Zodiac killer. And they tried to play games the same way Delphi is doing. The same thing Delphi is doing with people is the same thing Zodiac did with the authorities. And they thought they knew who it was, and they thought they knew this and that, and they didn't. And he killed, in one day, I think he killed 5 people. Something like numerous amounts of people in one day, and then wrote a letter to the police and sent it to them and said, there you go, for trying to play games with, they had no idea who the Zodiac killer was. They didn't have a clue. They suspected a lot of people, but they never actually found the Zodiac killer. Not alive. He was never charged they're real life movies. And people watch these movies, and they're not like you and me, normal people that know it's fantasy. It's real, but it's a movie. You're not you're not supposed to go out and kill and rape and pillage and do bad things. But some of these people are so sick and raised in very bad worlds, and they don't know fantasy from reality, and they get off on it. It's a sick world, I'll tell you that. Very sick world. So I'm not buying anything any videos are saying until the FBI and the police come out and say we got the guy, and this is what happened, this is the proof, and this is, there was more information about the Nicole Brown O.J. Simpson case before O.J. even stepped into the courtroom. There was photos released of the crime scene and Nicole and the bloody mess. My condolences to the family, to the Brown family and the Goldberg family, uh, or Ron Coleman, I think his name was. My condolences, but we knew more about that case, the O.J. case, within days. Uh, and it's been 5 years in the Delphi case. And that's why a lot of people are saying, I think they're just trying to create a case to cover up that they messed up, that they knew exactly who the killer was, but maybe he was related to somebody or something that was in law enforcement or whatever. It's possible. Anything is possible. The Indiana Sheriff's Department needs to come out and release the way the girls were found, the way they succumbed to life or death, the way they died. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, you're sick for even wanting to know." Well, it's obvious you people don't want us to solve the case, do you? We want to know if it's true. Were the girls beheaded? Were they carved up with letters or numbers in their bodies? Were they raped? Were they sexually abused? Did they do any of this? Or did they stumble and fall and didn't do a rape kit or a pregnancy kit or anything like that? Is it the secret society, the Illuminati, like Sean Harmon is saying that it was the Masons or whatever? We want to know these things. You can't solve the case from hearsay. You need proof. I'm not going to believe nothing any of these people say until I'm looking at a crime scene photo of a young girl dead. That's what the American citizens demand, want, deserve is the truth. Not, hey, well, this is the way it happened. Yeah, well, show me the proof. You know, you can say whatever. Oh, well, you're sick. Why would you want to see a young girl dead? Because I want to see if what they're saying adds up. And you're not going to be a good crime investigator ever if you don't look at photos and examine dead bodies or crime scenes or ways they came in and out of the crime scene. Within 500 feet around, 1,000 feet around there, they should have had all kinds of roped off areas, footprint castings. If there were any dogs in the area around the bodies, was there any footprints of dogs around the girls' bodies? You know, really, you want to be a good investigator, people. You ain't going to do it by listening to people. Well, if this is the way what happened, they'll show me the photos. Well, this is who's on the recording. Well, I want to hear the recording. And then I want to hear that guy's voice. You know, if we believe everything these people tell us, well, the world's coming to an end. We got an hour to live. No, I want proof. I want photos of the crime scene, of the two girls, everything they got. DNA. What kind of DNA? Is it touch DNA? Is it, if it, you know, what DNA is it? Solid proof DNA. From what I'm getting out of it, this could have been a setup killing. A setup. They tried to set somebody up, blackmail them maybe, or just set them up because they had a grudge or jealous or whatever. Yeah, could have been. Very well could have been. I'll tell you what, the devil had a hand in it. I'll tell you that much. Because there ain't no godly person done anything like that. You have to be strong. You have to fight it. You know, you can't be succumbing to it. Anyone with children or grandkids, I just find it hard to believe that they would do that. But then again, the world is nuts. Bananas. Anything for $1. Unbelievable. Witchery, sorcery, all kinds of crazy stuff in this country, in the world. But to me, it's no news. It's no new news, breaking news. They're like, well, we knew that 2 years ago. Some of us were already all over that they were lured there, possibly. It could have been they were lured there and then killed. You know, we knew that years ago. It's nothing new. They want to make it sound like it's new. It's nothing new. No, I want proof. I want to see the crime scene photos and I want to see all the video and the recording of the video. Hopefully they took photos of the ground around them, any footprints, anything leading from the these people keep insisting that they crossed the river. It was the only way out of there. No, not from the satellite photos I've looked at. There's 3 or 4 ways to get out of there. 2 or 3 of the ways you don't need to cross the river. For one, I need to see the crime scene photos, because if these girls were chopped up like everyone is saying in these videos, and there ain't blood at the crime scene to prove it, then they weren't killed there. They must have been killed somewhere else. If they were even cut up, and like some of these people are saying. So I'm not buying it. In any of these videos, it's an ongoing case until we see the crime scene photos and the actual proof. And the actual DNA evidence that they have. We're not believing nothing. This is one case where the actual state of Indiana is on trial. You know, let alone other people. 5 years, and they come up with a 40-second video clip and a recording of a voice, and that's it. And now they're releasing, well, we're looking for a fake account that was on one of the girls. Well, we knew that 2 years ago. We had our speculations as if possible the girls were lured there. That's nothing new. They're so backed up that it could have took 5 years for them to get the information off of the phone. You know, I was watching a video on Eddie Van Halen when his computer went bad. He sent it off to somebody because he had all kinds of music in it that he was working on. And it took years and years before they came to a conclusion that they couldn't fix his computer, and he lost all the music that was on it. So it's possible it took them this long to get the information and track everything down off of the media, social media stuff, and phones. But 5 years and you don't release any photos of the crime scene, anything, you don't answer if the girls were mutilated or the way they died, were the clothes wet? Did they cross the river? If they were chopped up, was there blood at the scene that is equal to the wounds that they succumbed to? And if there's no blood at the scene, then it's possible they weren't killed there. They could have been killed somewhere else and dropped there. It don't make sense, the whole thing. Right from the beginning, where the girls are videotaping the killer, and they don't say anything like, I'm on the phone with my mom, or I'm live right now, everyone can see you and you'll be caught. Nothing like that. I'm on the phone with the police right now, we're videotaping you, or told one of the girls, go run and get help, or one of the girls only lived 1.5 miles away. If you blow up the satellite photo, you can see her house. Not far, it's across the big giant farm field. So I'm not buying this whole thing. It's a mess. So I'm saying it's no new news to me that they are looking for a fake account. If we said that years ago, we already suspected something like that. Maybe was possible. We didn't take it off of the table. Some of us people did not take it off of the table. There was a lot of people that said we were nuts. No, that's not what happened. Well, all right. Well, how do you people know that? If they didn't release any of that information, how do you know it's not possible that they were lured there? Or maybe it was a revenge killing or a setup or a cover up or something. Well, it's impossible. This is what happened. Well, how do you know what happened? Only the killer knows what happened. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. So I need photos and I need video and recordings to go off of, not what someone else is saying. You know, I don't know. Is it possible Sean Harmon's dad was the killer? I don't know. I wasn't there. I have no idea. Is it possible they staged it, or he could? It's possible, but I think the police would have came out and said by now Sean Harmon's dad was involved in it, or a killer, or something like that. They had DNA of him. They had all of his information and everything. They knew who he was. They would have came out and said that, but 5 years. I don't think his dad is the killer. And you got to watch out for like stuff like that because there's people out there that will try and get views, try and get subs, and try and make a lot of money off of lies. Now, is it possible Sean's telling the truth? It's possible, but if the police didn't come out by now and say, oh yeah, Sean was right and his dad's the killer and his son's the killer, then it's no wonder Indiana Police Sheriff's Department is under investigation for negligence and failure to solve a crime. I mean, my opinion, that's like the military or the White House getting on TV and saying tomorrow at 3 o'clock we're going to be invaded by a country, and they do nothing about it. Not get troops ready or nothing. Well, that's failure to protect their country. Why are we paying these people if they can't do a job? I've even seen videos that it's some biker club or whatever. Who knows? The gang, the Mexican mafia, the syndicate, the mafia did it. Come on. Mafia didn't kill them two girls. I don't even think the Mexican cartel would kill two young girls like that. And if you look at the video, the guy walking down the bridge is white. Unless the video has been doctored. We don't know who got their hands on that video before it hit social media. The police should release the original video. It's probably a lot clearer. It's probably got a lot more on it that where people can say, hey, I recognize that now. You know, you got people out there saying everybody is the bridge guy, calling in fake reports and everything. It's turned into a mess. It really has. All right, you guys have a great night. Be safe. Really, the world is nuts. It's more crazier than I can ever be. I know reality from. I'm dumb. I got a disability, but I know reality from fantasy. And some of these people, they get into a role or they get around people, and they if people are crazy and act nuts, next thing you know, you'll be acting crazy and nuts. It'll rub off on you. You know? If I watch too much of Ted Nugent, next thing you know, I got a loincloth on. I'm swinging from this light in the front room, and I'm ready to conquer the world. You know, it's like anything. You watch too much mafia stuff, and the next thing you know, you want to be a mafia boss. They promote these bad things every single day. You know, every single day on TV. And these people, They soak it in, and then they don't know reality from fantasy. Yeah, I think we're looking at these people. I think maybe the police, right off the bat, we're telling you, and the key clues were you might be in this room with us. Well, the only people that are allowed in a sheriff's press release conference on a double murder case is either a reporter, investigator reporter, or a police officer. That was a key thing. Or somebody that they already talked to, or they might have called and talked to them. And the police knew right off the bat. And that was a key clue that pointed me out to certain things. And other people strayed away from that. And I was like, no, that was a clue. Why would a sheriff get on TV or social media and say, you might be in the room with us? Well, there's only, if anybody knows anything about press releases or sheriff's departments, there's only certain people that are allowed in them briefings or releases. So that was a key clue too. But you guys have a good day. Be safe. All you people are beautiful. Now they're going to say I'm a stalker because I'm telling people and women they're beautiful. That's how these people are that nuts. That's that's how crazy madness they be, they become. Some of these people are not who they say they are. I'm an actor. I come right out and I say I'm a comedian, guitar player, song and dance man, actor. You know, I can act just like these people are acting. And then we do researches on them, and next thing you know, they're not who they say they are. I don't know. Nuts. But it's late. I'm going to bed. You guys have a good night. Be safe. You're all beautiful people. You beautiful people. Beautiful people. And you know what? I don't take any of this stuff to heart. I don't take any of it to. It'll drive you nuts. I'll tell you that much. So they're looking for somebody with a fake account that really ain't the guy. That's a model. His photo was hacked, supposedly, or it was a fake account, meaning someone got his photo, put it on the account, and said they were him. It happens all the time. Is it possible the girls were lured there? Yes, very possible. Am I saying that's what happened? No. I'm saying it is possible. It could have been somebody that made it look like it was him and it really wasn't. Or it could have been somebody that did it and might have knew that guy. Or, it could be numerous things. As far as I'm considered, it's an open case. It's still ongoing. So you guys have a good night. Be safe. Don't believe everything you hear on YouTube. That's all I could say. Believe me, I know. I Googled my name. It said I was married 192 times. All kinds of crap. I'm like, I've never been married in my life. Not once have I ever been married. Never. Oh God, it's unreal, unbelievable. Uh, all right, you people be safe. Still an ongoing case. So is the Summer Wells case. So is the Mikey Vaughn and the Gabby Petito case is still ongoing. And I believe, just like Dog Chapman, I believe me and Dog are the only ones still looking for Brian Laundrie or anyone that looks like him. That's another case. All of a sudden it went crazy. The Brian Laundrie thing. All of a sudden it went south. I believe we're still looking for him. Why? Because there was too many people that popped up that looked like Brian Laundrie. Way too much of a look-alike. That told me something's up. You know, I'm the only one saying he was training to be a terrorist. I could see his dating site now. Brian Laundrie. I love burner phones and SIM cards, burner laptops, and I love to control my women. And I love the outdoors in the mountains. You know, yeah, we just spent 20 years over in another country fighting people that had that same subscription, but they were called terrorists. They love burner phones and SIM cards too, and they love the mountains to hide from us. Now, you folks be safe. I gotta get some sleep.